You don't think this legislation is going to cause any trouble in Hong Kong?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to alter Hong Kong's status as the international financial center.
Why not?
Why should it be? I mean, I think the national security law, whose details are yet to be revealed, probably will bring some measure of stability to the society. If you remember the violence and disruption and the crippling of traffic and economy last year, but in any case, Hong Kong economy is at this very moment in deep recession, so it's not going to get any better, nor is it getting any worse at this particular point. The economy already sank about 8.9% in the first quarter. It's not expected to perform any better in the second quarter. But for a financial center that Hong Kong is, most of these listed companies don't really do business in Hong Kong. Much of the capital comes outside of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong has a unique status in Asia, being a place where there's a free flow of information, free flow of capital, English speaking, as well as Chinese, of course, rule of law. All of those things will now change, and therefore there's no reason to expect Hong Kong as a financial center to change.
Shan, it's Tom here in Beijing. Despite that optimism about the city's future, have you discussed any contingency plans for your firm at all, should the situation pan out differently to how you expect? Have you looked, for example, to put any staff in Singapore? Have you looked at any hedging plans for your business?
No, not for our firm. And we don't see any reason to do so. What possibly can happen? You tell me.
How has your investment strategy changed in light of the US-China tensions that we're seeing, in light of the question marks about Hong Kong's status, of course, the impact of the pandemic, and the fact that, of course, many economies around the world, in this region as well, are now in recession? How has that changed your investment strategy?
Most of the investment firms which operate in Hong Kong don't really invest in Hong Kong. PAG manages about $38 billion in capital. We invest throughout Asia, including mainland China. But we almost do no investing in Hong Kong at all. The reason for that is Hong Kong as the economy is relatively small. Other than financials, it has tourism and real estate, which are not our targets, which are not doing very well in Hong Kong anyway. So we invest outside of Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is a very good place as the headquarters for investment firms. And therefore, the economy in Hong Kong doesn't really affect how we invest elsewhere. And we typically focus on sectors and businesses which cater to private consumption in different countries in Asia, and therefore trade conflicts and other conflicts between nations typically don't affect us so much. But I would say that's largely true for investment firms here based in Hong Kong.
Understood. Now, we have to bring politics into this as well, and given, of course, what your firm does, and given all the action we've actually seen as far as listings here in Hong Kong, it's certainly changed the conditions for listings as well. Do you think, has this at all ruled out the U.S. as a listing destination for many Chinese companies, you think?
I think that's a possibility, given what's going on in the United States. And there will be tightening on listings of Chinese companies in the United States. So far, all the indications that I have seen are actually positive, because you really want to tighten regulatory regimes to prevent fraudulent cases from happening. But if there's a tightening with regard to Chinese companies seeking listings in the United States in general, I think Hong Kong is only going to benefit from it. I was talking with one of the major bulge bracket American investment banks, the head of investment banking here in Hong Kong, just about a week ago. And he was jokingly telling me that if Chinese companies couldn't go to America for listing, his firm is going to benefit because they're a major underwriter here in Hong Kong, in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And I jokingly told him that, if there are big fights between the two countries, his firm may be prevented from doing underwriting here in Hong Kong, which, of course, was a joke. And I hope his business will continue to thrive in this city.
What do you expect to see in terms of deal activity? Asset prices, of course, are looking, to some at least, pretty cheap at this point. Is this the point where you're looking to buy assets, or do you need to sit it out for a few more months, Shan? Do you have appetite now for some acquisitions, some purchases, some deals?
We are a private equity firm. Our firm has a small business in the public market. We do invest in public market, but that represents a very small percentage of our total capital. Typically, we invest in private markets, which are not so affected by what's going on in the public market. And we have seen valuation coming down in the past year or two, which, of course, are very good for us. And public market, where it is today, I think that it is pretty good opportunity for some of the private equity firms, including ourselves, to exit, to take advantage of the valuation today. Because the economy worldwide remains very uncertain. So it is hard to say where the market will turn next. And therefore, we're pretty cautious with regard to the public market.
Right. And I guess as a final question for you, sir, you mentioned at the top of the interview, in terms of Hong Kong not losing its stature as a financial center as well, not that there would be anything wrong with this, but do you think, compared to, say, what you see in, say, New York or London, where you have investors and companies from all over the world come together, do you think we should start referring to Hong Kong, and again, not that there's anything wrong with it, as China's international finance center?
No. I think Hong Kong will remain an international financial center, not just China's financial center. You see players like ourselves, whose capital comes from North America, predominantly from Europe, from Middle East, doing investments here in Asia and based in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is not just a gateway for China anymore. It is an international financial center. It will remain so, in my view, because Hong Kong uniquely has the characteristics that I just mentioned: free flow of capital, free flow of information, rule of law, English speaking, which none of the Chinese cities will be able to match. Right? We all know that.
Weijian Shan.
That's why we're very confident in Hong Kong's future as a financial center.